Happy 4th of July from the National Museum of Military Vehicles. As you might imagine, for a museum with our mission of honoring the history of American freedom, the 4th of July is a big deal for us. Every 4th of July since 2014, we've put some of our military vehicles in the 4th of July parade. And what better way to celebrate American independence than honor the service and sacrifice of the generations of Americans who created our freedom and now help maintain our freedom. So to honor them and to entertain the crowd here, this year we're putting 30 military vehicles in the parade. We have a number of tracked vehicles, a number of tanks. We also have a number of wheeled vehicles. We like to have a good mix so that several thousand people that are going to be watching the parade, and we want them to see a variety of different components of the history of American freedom. To prepare this many vehicles to be in our 4th of July parade, our restoration shop mechanics spend really probably 3 months and even more than that getting everything ready. And now today is the day that we get the payoff for this work that everybody's been doing for months inside the shop.
What we're working on now is a 1943 Oshkosh W709 CR5. It is one of 75 manufactured in the world. And this one actually has its original trailer that came with it from the manufacturer. We're working on it because we have a couple of problems with this to get it ready for the parade. So Dale, let's tell the viewers what we're doing with this Oshkosh right here so we can make it right for the parade.
All right.
Go ahead.
So we discovered when we pulled it out of winter storage that we had a fuel leak and we also had a radiator leak. And what we discovered is that there was a crack in the radiator. There's actually a hole through the radiator so that you can put a hand crank through here to crank the engine. In that round opening through the bottom of the radiator, there was a crack that developed. So we tried brazing it and we were unsuccessful because the leak got bigger as we warmed it up to braze it. So we elected to go to a 2-part epoxy, and it's mixed and then it's spread in the area that you want to seal. And then when it dries, it's very good. And we're optimistic here that this is going to be the repair for our radiator. So she's a beautiful old truck, and she deserves to be in good shape on the 4th of July.
What we've got on this side of the shop is we're working on our M51 Super Sherman. They were produced between 1956 and 1962. This one here in particular was part of the Israeli Defense Forces. That's why you see it's colored the way it is. It originally came with an R975 radial engine. It was retrofitted in Israel to the VT8 460 Cummins engine. We've got a problem with this engine now. We're losing power and it seems like it's wanting to lock up. So what we've got going on is I've got Bob, our lead mechanic, going to come in here and he's going to do some troubleshooting. I think we're going to look at the oil system, the oil filter and things like that to see if we have traces of interior products that we don't want in there. So I'll let Bob carry it from here.
Okay, so we're going to pop out. It's got a cartridge oil filter and we're going to take the lid off of it, pull that out, hopefully if we have enough room with the deck lid on, and cut it apart and see if there's any bad metal particulates in it. Okay, as I remove the lid here, fortunately we did not have any oil come out. I'm looking at, this is the bypass port here. So if your filter becomes plugged, this here opens up. I don't see any debris in on this point. And hopefully we can get this cartridge, maybe if I can move my hand. So you in the camera world are seeing brute strength. Manipulate the filter out of there. I could feel some debris in the bottom of the housing. Does not look like I brought anything up, well, to the filter. So as we're looking inside the pleats here, I'm going to cut this out and then unfold most of this, but you can see my Stanley pointer here, as this yellow is just a piece of paint from the internal side. And we have a few other things. As my eyes have give up on me a little bit, I will have to install my glasses at some point to be able to see the finer things in life. Obviously, if none of you have ever tore a filter apart, your pleats are glued to these end plates. So this is the inside of our filter, it's supposed to be the clean oil. This is the part that where our material will be catching. And as I said before, I must install the cheaters. As I suspected, this is one of the small pieces, if Nate can zoom in on it. Yep. That is a flake of a bearing. There's another piece. Pieces is another one here. And the pleats. As we brought this engine out of the warehouse, and it had a paint job on the outside, we pulled the oil pan off, so the pan was clean. We installed a new filter. This is dirt and debris that was on the end of my finger. Obviously, you can't see much of it in the white rag, but you can sure see it in the pleats. There is a lot of debris in here. I'm almost ashamed to say that we put new oil in this. This is a brand new filter, probably less than 8 hours on the engine, the oil change. Obviously, we are going to have to pull the engine. It's not something that we can fix inside the tank at this point. So until then, happy trails.
So another vehicle we've got for our parade vehicles that we're having to do maintenance on is this fast attack vehicle made by Chenoweth. As you can see, it's a dune buggy that the Marine Corps and the Navy SEALs used in Desert Storm, actually. This one we're having brake problems with. We've already replaced one master cylinder that operates the back. We've got the new master cylinder in to operate the front, and I'm going to turn it over to Mark. He's going to walk you through what he's got to do to get into it and make the repairs.
All right, the first thing we have to do is get this M249 out of the way. It's nicknamed the Saw. It's a squad automatic weapon. Next, we have to undo all the fasteners that hold the hood down. Straight up, there we go. This reservoir is for the rear brakes, and also the rear brakes have individual controls, so you can brake each wheel. And then this reservoir that's leaking that we haven't replaced yet is separate for the front brakes. A lot of times on older vehicles, these brake lines will rust and break off. I just got lucky and this one wasn't rusted. Normally I'd take the ball joint off of the shaft, but on this one, the joint itself is threaded onto the shaft, so I'm just going to unscrew the shaft from the ball joint because I need to reuse it. And it's out. There was more than that left when we finished.
How come I'm not getting a firm? I should be getting firm for the back.
It is firm on the back. There's a swivel in between that joint. So
okay. I'm gonna have better legs than Suzanne Summers.
Let me hold her down and let me see if we got anything.
Oh yeah, I felt that.
One more time and I think we'll be good.
I'm down.
Okay. You're good.
Give her a test.
So we finished the master cylinder installation for the front axle. As you can see in the video, that was pretty simple. It's a lot easier to work on these than some of the other equipment we have. All that's left is for me to put the hood back on and the gun back in place, and then this will be done. It stops.
That's all, folks.
So yesterday, while we were driving this around, it kept spitting and sputtering and dying on us, and so we're going to tow it into the shop and see if we can't figure out what's going on. And now that we've got the barrel secured, we can get the Leopard ready, and we'll tow it into the shop with that.
You got
The
one
round
out?
tab is hitting the electrode. It's contacting.
Oh yeah, that could be our problem right there. She's pretty carboned up, and the gap is way too close. We can throw it in the tester here and see if we can even get any spark out of it. So we take the plug, we screw it in here. To simulate engine compression, we put some air pressure to it. If you can look down in that mirror, no, there's no spark. So we'll clean this plug up and gap it. See if she'll chooch. There we go. Nice snug fit. Now let's see if we can get some spark out of it.
Yeah, got it.
Jared's going to continue pulling all the plugs. We're going to clean and gap every single one of them and retest fire the tank and see if it runs any better.
All the spark plugs had oil, sludge, bunch of this carbon buildup on it. I actually also found that a few of the ground straps were actually touching the electrodes, so there's no gap at all for that spark to go. So we cleaned them, fixed the gap, put them back in, tested them all, tested all the spark plug wires. That fixes our problem.
We've been spending about the last 2.5 months full time with a crew of 7 working on all these vehicles to make sure they make it through the parade route and get back to the barn. These are old vehicles, things pop up every day. You can park it on Friday, come in on Monday, and it's got a whole new set of issues. So this morning we got up early, we set up vehicles, started pulling them out, lining them up, wheeled vehicles on the other end, tracked vehicles on this pad right here. We had a drivers meeting this morning at 10 o'clock to orient them with the rules of the road and the safety of operating vehicles of this nature, and also the wheeled vehicles. So, somebody playing with a gun right there. So right now everybody's getting oriented with their vehicles, they're driving them around, they've got coaches in the vehicles with them on headsets so they can manage to coach them and get them back in place and drive safely. Matter of fact, we hear one coming around the corner that just went for a test drive. He's probably going to be backing in right where we're at. And they're the ones shooting off the top of it, yeah. Boys want to have fun. So, here about 1 o'clock, we're going to be lining people up for the parade, and we're going to get out on the road about 1:30, and we're off and running.
The 4th of July parade in Dubois that features all the military vehicles, I think inspires the crowd and the people watching to just remember the sacrifice from generations before. It's a big reminder of the sacrifice our family made, but it's the sacrifice of thousands and thousands of other families. If this is what it means to thank all the military members, I think this is a great way of showing how appreciative we all are of everyone's sacrifice. This display, this museum, and the parade.
So with all that we've got going on around here, it would be for nothing if we didn't have the great support from the Dubois City Council, the Dubois Police Department, the Dubois Fire Department, the Fremont County Sheriff's Department, and WYDOT. This makes a great opportunity to celebrate our veterans and their accomplishments over the years. Happy 4th of July.